Hello, I am the Sparkle Queen. Thank you for joining me. And I forgot what I was going to say. Today's discussion is about workplace jealousy. Now, this topic is just as important as having family and friends around you. And even though I touched upon it the last video, I really want to go a bit more deeper, because we all work with people from different walks of life that just basically are also jealous of us. They are very scandalous to us. They talk behind our back. You know, they're more leviathans swimming in the cesspool of the workplace. Now, let's just look at how you identify those people. Those are the people that when you turn up late, they make sure they tell the boss. Or they keep an eye on you even though they're not a supervisor, they're not your deputy manager, and they're nowhere anything to do with management. Now, these kinds of people come literally on your tail from the minute you literally get the job and walk through the door. They will be the first people to come over to you, and they want to find out about you. They're the nicest people to you in the beginning. When you walk away, you think, what a nice person, thinking that you're going to blossom and grow in friendship. But you're absolutely wrong. Those are the people that's building ammunition, trying to find out where do you come from, what's your skills and your experience, you know, what's your lifestyle like out of work. They're trying to build character. They're trying to build a report, shall I say, which some people say a rap sheet, but it's a report about you, so they can use anything that they can, a weakness they feel you have, to turn around and try and drag you down. Now, you may ask yourself, why do these people, when you start a workplace, tend to gang up or come forward or show themselves and just don't particularly like you? I mean, they will still talk to you as if they are your friends, but they don't like you. You know, you will feel it. Your sixth sense will tell you, especially if you're a chosen child. They will come over and, you know, just snooping what you're doing, and as much anything that you're doing wrong, they will be quick to make sure they raise it with the management. So why are they doing it? The reason why is because when you walk in that door, the first thing they feel is threat. Threat for their own position, threat that you may be a lot more qualified than them, you may have more experience than them. Anything that requires them, that they're them being the counterfeit, being exposed. Normally, those are the type of people that they know that they are just going under the radar and they're not as good in their job. In fact, they're incompetent in their job. That's where the threat comes from. So they need to make sure that your management feels that you're a threat just as much as they feel you're a threat. So they will watch what you're doing. If you haven't done your documents right, if you work in administration, if you work in retail, they probably tell the management you're not hitting sales and targets. It doesn't matter what job you do, they are always there to pinpoint that you didn't cross your T's and dot your I. Now, when you go into those workplaces, you tend to feel much more drained and exhausted, because when you realize you've got more or less Satan's children on your back, you have to put in 110% to make sure that you cross-reference everything. And unfortunately, you wish you could just go out, sit down with these people and just let them know that, you know, they are in the job and got the same opportunity as you. There's no reason for them to feel a threat. But unfortunately, because they come in very nice, you'd never see them come in. They have already started building a report about you and against you. Telling the manager you was late, telling the manager you didn't send the email, telling the manager anything that will go against you and make it look like they are doing the right thing in the management's eyes. And it's a way of also sucking up and brown nosing the manager. Now, it sounds very sad, but this is basically what some people's life aspire to. And there's many, many people out there in the workplace. And please, even if you're black, you're Mexican, you're Indian, you're Asian, you're Chinese, you're Vietnamese. It really doesn't matter what race you are. When it comes down to people that are of this way, these kinds of low vibrational people that are jealous people in the workplace, they will turn against their own. So if you're black, don't be surprised if it's a black woman doing it to you, because she's fretting of you and the position that you're bringing to the table. She sees something in you that you probably may not you may not really recognize, but you don't feel like ecstatic about it yourself. You just know you can do your job, and you're very career driven. You know that you're probably got time management, or but it's just everybody has that day where they may have not done something. They are the people that will be on your heel like a dog with a bone. Now you may say to yourself, why doesn't the manager basically do something about it or whatever? We have to. Some managers don't. Some managers are very much weak mind. We have a lot of people in leadership skills based on who they know, and not the fact that they're actually leadership material or managerial material. They rely on people that are jobs worth and want to take on those little misdemeanors on their behalf, and they use them as the security or as the report. And those, like I said, those people they're not managers, they're not supervisors, they're just the normal employee like you are. But they will take it upon themselves to act like they're the manager. They will come over to you and ask you questions like, what time did you get back off break? What time did you come back off break? And you're looking at this employee like they're the same employee as you, thinking, what's it got to do with you? Because they're trying to get as much information so they can go back and tell the manager. So, you're getting a general gist of the kind of nature of these kinds of people. Now, what if you're somebody that's a little bit more strong and they can't get you on time management? Those types of Leviathan people can't get you with your work because you always cross-reference, you're very thorough with your work. The next thing they have is to slander. They will find a group of people that they know no longer than you before you started the workplace, and they will then start to talk about you behind your back and keep that momentum up so you feel isolated or excluded from the group. They wouldn't invite you for lunch. They wouldn't invite you for anything they're doing out of work. They make sure that you are the outsider and you're never really in. And they use that opportunity to continue to fuel the fire about you and the people that they are amongst. Now, like I said, if you're a wise person, you will realize that this person has an obsession with another member of staff, and they probably wouldn't get involved if they're a mature adult. However, many people are followers. Many people are too scared to go against the grain, knowing that they may be feeling or victimized themselves or being treated to be victimized themselves by that same member of staff. Now, even if that staff member doesn't have a managerial position, they know that they're quite influential in that circle of business, and they don't want to go against that person and be on the out. So they will go along with the buffoonery of the person that is carrying on like this, just so they can actually stay off the radar themselves. They don't want to be seen to be pallying up with the person that is being victimized. They will know deep down in themselves that what they're doing or partaking in is wrong, but they will sit down there and key. And I would say to also people that are like that, which are followers of that same energy, that same attitude, that immature attitude, is that it's time for you to really become mature, to grow up. It's time for you to if you can't say anything, then don't join in. It's time for you to realize that you also have a problem, and you're just as guilty as the culprit that is actually the ringleader. And there are many people that will come and listen to this and won't actually see themselves in the same way. And they will listen to this and agree. And this is the this is the hypocrisy of people. They would listen to this message and agree with what I'm saying, that these things happen, which is workplace bullying, or even to the point of gang stalking within the workplace, because these are the kinds of people that will even watch what time you went on lunch and what time you came back. They will join in with this, and they're at their workplace, these kinds of hypocrite people, and then they will listen to messages like mine or any other YouTube video or other people say it, and they will sit with that person and agree and think, yeah, that's wrong. But they're actually doing it. Many people are. They're just not honest with themselves. Now, some people's managers can act like this. Some people's managers can be basically lack managerial skills. They use their position to bully. They use their position to force the workplace to work harder. And they set the cat amongst the pigeons and sit back and act like they don't know what's going on, or they're not the cause of it. But that manager, supervisor, deputy manager, they're the ones that are very, very toxic. I really don't like the way my lighting is going here. It looks a bit, I'm trying to shift that a bit. Let's come a bit closer. I didn't like the way the light was going. And sorry people to stop, I haven't done my head yet. But if you know me and you've been watching me, this is not about vanity. Anyway, so let's get back to managers. So they are very low vibrational managers. They're not really managers. They just probably got there because maybe they were screwing the previous boss. And I hate to put it that way, but the truth is they don't have the authority, or most managers rely on their deputy manager to do the work. They offload the work because they know that they're probably incompetent in them jobs, or they're just users. They know that they're supposed to be doing it themselves, but they put it on at the other members of staff to do their work for them. Stay late, lock up, do their paperwork, and just some things that are I know some people probably say they've heard more stories or had other things happen to them that's even more ridiculous, like go and get the manager's lunch on their lunch break, and go and pick up the manager's dry cleaning or something, and it's got nothing to do with the job at hand. They've just been taking advantage of you. I'm here to tell you that if you're in an environment like that, you need to say to yourself, is this my true life's purpose? So I'm just going to do another little shift. You need to say, is this really where I should be in life? Is this my life's purpose? Am I doing the correct job? Am I satisfied? And be really totally honest with yourself. Because many times as well, because this is spiritual warfare, and this is this message part is for the chosen people. When you've woken up and you've come into the Word of God, the enemy is angry. The enemy is angry that you're coming into the truth and you're going to learn more truths, because we're never given everything in one big whoosh. We're given it in drip, 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 or chunks and then drip. But either way, you're in the truth. The enemy is mad, and he will do everything in a spiritual sense to make sure that you are railroaded or to throw you off your path. So if that means coming a spirit into the people that you work and having gang stalking and people around you, that is going to cause you to leave that workplace. That is all part and parcel of spiritual warfare from the enemy, because, like I said, he's angry that you've woken up, and it's about losing another soul and knowing that you may also wake up the people around you. So if he knows you may use that doctrine, use the truth from the Most High God, Ahaya, and tell the people, that is more souls being lost for him. So he has to make sure that you continue to stay isolated, stay secluded away from people, so you cannot spit this truth and you cannot awaken their spirit and want them to go seek for themselves. He prefers when people are asleep. He prefers when people are low vibrational. And this is a message for everybody that acts in a very low This is for a message for anybody that acts in a low vibrational way, that you have to understand that when you act like this, you have to pay the price. There's always karma. Every scenario when I've ever been, where someone's done me wrong, and I have not been aware, or I'm aware, something bad always happens to them. Why? Because it's the law of averages. And it doesn't mean I've necessarily lifted my hand and done something. No. It's a spiritual attack that comes on that person. Because when you treat people wrong, particularly a child of God, the Lord vindicates you. And what they will have will come off a lot worse than what they've done to you, even if they've caused you pain and suffering for a short temporary basis, because remember, they operate under Satan. So whatever they do is only for a season, or which is a short time and a short space. But when they have it, the repercussions from the Lord, it is a lifelong sentence what the Lord will do to them. So rest assured, are you in this? Rest assured that they will get their due diligence. But I want you just to realize that you need, sorry, I have to check that. I need you to realize that, it may also be things like that happen to you in that environment. It's because it's time to leave. It's time to move. You may not be in the right place. You may not be doing the right things of your life's calling. You may not be in your true flourishing with your true purpose. Those are the kinds of people know that when you touch something, it grows. When you sow seeds, your seed grows into beautiful trees, blossoming oranges or apples. They know that you have the potential to go far. And those people around you, in your environment, in your workplace, do not want you to ascend after them because they've been there longer. Imagine now you're promoted to supervisor or manager if they just left you alone to show that workplace what you can do and what you can produce. Hell no, they're not going to let that happen. They're going to make sure they try to trip you. You may not even have thought that's where you're trying to go when you walk through the door, but those people have given you time, scoped you for enough time, can see that you've got talent, can see where your commitment are, to see that you do this job with a breeze. They want to mess it up because they're threatened about their own position. Number two, they're jealous of you because they probably like the way you come into that workplace. You put yourself together well. Your hair's always done. No, my hair's not. Well, your hair's always done. Or you have, you present yourself in the most sophisticated way. Woman or man, this conversation goes both ways. But like I said, if it's continuing on and your management is in agreement with those kinds of people, then you're in the wrong workplace. You're in the wrong workplace. And also, I would suggest to you to read Psalms and go deeper into prayer and read Psalms and pray against the enemy, and also get rebuking when people are like that. Even if they're around you and you know they're about to do some nonsense, you can say it in your mind. Rebuke them in your mind. Rebuke them in your mind and disarm the enemy straight away, because it's always spiritual before it's physical. Yeah, so listen, I'll be back again because there is something else I want to talk about when it comes to jealousy, because there are so many forms of jealousy when it comes to human beings, and it's a problem that many people suffer with. Many people don't know how to control that energy. They don't know how to control the negative energy within them, and they don't see that we're not crabs in a barrel. If you have a talent in that workplace, just show what you've got. You do not have to go out of your way to find allies, to gang stalk one member of staff or two members of staff, because you know that they actually got more potential than you. They're going to go further than you. The manager may like them. All right. Till next time, I'm the Sparkle Queen. Peace.